This is someone reacting to the fallout from why they think Sungrand Studios is insane. And this is a channel that people have been begging me to react to for the past 3 days. And I've been so busy with the other stuff, I haven't been able to. But they made another video 21 hours ago. I watched the previous one. I have not watched this one, so I figured I'd start with this one. But this is Harmful Opinions. They have 38,900 subscribers. And this has 1.1 thousand likes and 8 dislikes. So very much liked by the community. So let's check it, see what he has to say.
Time for me to take some accountability. I didn't do my due diligence. I made a mistake. When I made my previous video about Sungrand Studios, it was the result of having looked at some bits and pieces on his channel during a live stream that triggered me to think I need to tell people. I knocked out a video very quickly with some nuggets of info I thought viewers should be aware of. However, having looked at some more of his content in depth, my opinion has changed. I think this guy is absolutely, genuinely Looney Tunes bonkers. What I think has happened with Jerrel is that he is a crazy person trying to be comedic. As a result, people have taken everything he says as sarcasm. But despite his delivery, I think he's deadly serious about most of what he says.
Oh, he is, by the way. I can confirm that, which I think his delivery and his messaging has been poor, to say the least. So, yeah.
See, as I was doing some other work, for a fun project you might find out about someday, I decided to let his videos play in the background. And one video in particular completely rearranged my perspective on the guy. He is not just a cynical manipulator and grifter. He is totally out of his mind. The video in question is titled, "Dear Doug Bowser, Nintendo of America President, May We Talk About Switch 2? Very funny, right? What a novel, rhetorical device. He's pretending he has Nintendo's ear and talking as if he's being listened to directly. Cute, quirky delivery of a point, right? Except I think he's deadly serious. He thinks they're listening and he wants a job. What this video truly does is it ties together a lot of his recent behavior in a really funny way, but also a very sad way. The layers of his madness are incredibly dense, so please bear with me as I try to lay it out. We'll start with him flexing his credentials.
Hello, Mr. Bowser. My name is Jerrel Dulé. I develop games.
He develops shovelware garbage. His goal, in fact, is to pump out one game a month, not as a fun project, but as his business strategy.
Whoa. I have not seen this video here. What's going on here?
I'm currently on track to launch one game a month. So if I take 3 months developing, say, for example, a Dreamcast version of a game, that is 3 commercial titles that I will have not developed, which means that I am losing a significant amount of money.
As a game dev.
Whoa. I never heard that side of it. I always thought he put a shit ton of work into his games, was really cared about the art and the music, especially in them, and really focused. And whoa, buddy.
He is the lowest of the low, a solo dev aiming to shit out overpriced garbage every single month.
In the past, I've worked as industry consultant.
He has talked about this before in some slight detail. He claims to have been a consultant for Canon, Nikon, and Fujifilm.
I'm an industry consultant, and I have helped guide major companies in the photography industry like Canon, Nikon, and Fujifilm by providing insight and vision with these industry leaders.
He also claims to have been a
PR manager and liaison,
and an
event manager.
I can't find any direct commentary on the middle claim, but regarding being a consultant and event manager, both of these are related to his claims regarding one of his many cancer friends, specifically regarding the one he claims died at the end of March.
And then about 2 weeks ago, a very close friend of mine died of cancer, leukemia. And this is a friend that got me in to the photography industry. I wasn't a professional at the time, but he brought me in to work in the photography industry. And we talked a few times before I started working with him. And he was really dead set on having me work with him in the photography industry. And I didn't understand it. And after we met, a couple months later, he came back to me and he said, look,
this gives me a very different.
And he's a veteran. He pioneered the photography industry.
Steve Nikon himself? William Cannon? Shigeru Fujifilm. Who is it? If he's this famous pioneer of the photography industry, what point is there in keeping him anonymous? Google's kind of hard to use these days. I can't find this pioneer dying of leukemia in late March. Please tell us more. If he's this big name, you don't need to hide him. Jerrel continues to tell us how this old man sucked him off.
And he told me, look, after we met, I've been trying to meet other people your age. I've been talking to other people your age. And he said, I haven't met anyone else like you. I was wondering if this is just how people your age are, if you're an...
You know what? The one thing that I notice, his voice sounds different now, which is kind of a red flag in a weird way, where this Jerrel strikes me as almost like a casual, like doing this and hoping he grows his channel, to what he talks like now sounds almost like robotic. This is weird. Claudex says Sungrand might not like you after this. My intent is not to get people to like me when I cover them. It never has been. But wow, this is weird.
Outlier. And he said something to me that I didn't understand at the time. I was too young to understand. And he said to me, your eyes are so clear.
It gets me every time. How did anyone fall for this guy?
He said, I bet you can see the world for what it is.
I held back on this guy because I didn't want to get a strike for bullying or something. But what the hell is this?
But he said, would you do some work for me in the photography industry? I need someone to do some work. And I was intimidated because that's industry work, that's professional. I said, look, I'm not a professional, and he said, well, I need someone to do some work. I need event work. I need this. I need consulting and this and that.
Event work and consulting.
And
this
this
is where
and
that
that.
credential comes from. Now it's my turn to share a personal story. I don't make a massive amount of money dicking around online doing this stuff. Way more than I probably should make for just doing this stuff. But I'm not balling, and I'm highly aware of the volatility. So I'm always pursuing things where possible, such as event work. When a large company is running an event or has a stall at an event, their basic workforce might not be enough. Sometimes they need more people to move boxes. Sometimes they draft from friends and family first. Other times they'll use third-party
This is
designers
wild.
to take the load off.
Like, I'm not pausing it very much because I'm just kind of like, I'm taking it all in. I'm like, I don't know if we really have much to add besides it's just a lot.
Internal team. Forgive me, but given what I've seen of this guy's design work, I don't buy it. I do not buy that he was brought in to be the savior of a photography company. Show us your portfolio. Jerrel, this is your professional studio's website. You have the aesthetic expertise of a koala with Down syndrome. And there's one more credential he shares.
Public speaker.
You might think that he's referring to his YouTube content, but on his long-dead website only accessible via the Wayback Machine, we can see there's a speaking section from years and years and years ago. May I see some? People think you talk like a deranged retard as a joke, because it's the only way you've ever spoken on your YouTube channel. Please, would you let us have a look at you not speaking like this? I've seen some of your photography, by the way. You suck ass. I have a theory. All right, bear with me. Jerrel has at least 4 cancer friend stories. There's the photography mentor who died a few weeks ago. In 2016, he had a friend die in his arms.
On August 3rd at 8:15, I held Buzz in my hands as he took his final breath.
At the end of
We also have the video he posted about dealing with the stabbing. I just fought a guy trying to stab people in a shopping center. 50,000 views. He tried to stab people.
Hey, everyone. So this video is not a joke. There's no punchline here. It's not funny. I just got back from the shops, and there was an altercation. When I walked into the shops, there was a scuffle. People were fighting. There was a guy that had a kid not a teenager, 15-year-old, and he's got him in sort of, a headlock. He's got his arms so he can't strike or hit him. He's trying to get the kid outside of the shop. I'm walking into the shop. I see that. I naturally assume, well, it must be this guy's kid. The kid's throwing a tantrum.
Like, why did he green screen a grocery store behind him if it's like a serious thing? But it's just, I don't even know what to believe about this anymore.
to watch what's happening with this teenager. The teenager's screaming, I can't discern what he's saying. So I worked for years and years in disability services. I could tell within seconds this kid has specialized needs, and there's a very specific way that you deal with people with specialized needs. You have to understand the situation they are in, the headspace they are
Blue
in.
Boss says, is he a compulsive liar? I mean, I hate to just throw that at situations, but I see it more and more on YouTube with people. And man, if that's what ends up being, I don't know. Like this is wild, because right when Harmful Opinions was showing those old videos, it made me think of this video that I hadn't seen yet. And it's like, wait a second.
Going to get involved. I wasn't going to step in, but I thought there's a chance that someone could get hurt, because I thought, what if...
Okay, I'll say it. I wasn't going to say it, but I'll say it. It almost like this situation just makes me feel like a lot of the stuff that Jerrel says is just not backed up, not tangible, no evidence of anything. Just a lot of trust me, bro. I did this, I did that. Trust me, bro.
And it turned out it was someone else. And apparently this teenager had been causing problems in the shop. It became physical. And now this kid is striking out, hitting people. And I'm watching from a distance. I see him go around the corner. He comes back, and now he's holding a screwdriver. And now he's screaming. He's looking around. He's trying to stab people. And so that's when I stepped in, and I picked up a chair, and I was just holding it. And I'm watching him approaching people. And I'm getting in between him and people. And I've got the chair. And I'm getting ready to, once he tries to strike, then I'll put the chair between the kid and the person, and he won't be able to reach anyone. That's outranging him, but I'm not aggressing. And I'm watching him, and I'm holding on to the chair. I'm saying, hey, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's all right. It's all right. He's screaming, and he's trying to stab people. And now I've got the chair, and I'm just corralling him outside. And I'm calmly saying, look, it's going to be okay. We're corralling him outside. Meanwhile, bystanders are coming up to gawk at him, and they're blocking the entrance where I'm trying to get this kid out the door. We need to get this kid out of the shop where he can get some fresh air.
And I'll just speak from my own experience. I had a friend growing up that was a compulsive liar. And the weirdest thing happened when I realized it was, there was one day when, I don't remember if we were like, had a couple beers at the house or whatever, and my parents came home and he was there, and we were just chatting, and he just goes off on this tangent about something that never happened. And my parents like could tell that he was lying, but they were just like, yeah, the whole time. And it was like the weirdest thing. Like, I'm like, why are you telling the story that never even happened right now? And he had like all these details and everything. And from that moment on, I was just kind of like, okay, yep, I guess now that I know directly that this is like a condition that affects people, and they can hide it well, then you never know who's a compulsive liar in this world. And it's like that, then that whole thing detracts from people that you try to trust. Whereas now anyone could be now I could be a compulsive liar. Now I could be making up that story to tell you guys about my friend who was a compulsive liar. I'm like, damn, that's what pisses me off so much about that stuff.
Him back, and I'm pushing him away from people he's trying to stab with the screwdriver. And then some genius comes up to me and then pushes me, takes the chair out of my hand. He's trying to say, hey, cut it out, man. You're going to make him hate you. And this guy is not intelligent. Like, you can tell someone's depth of intelligence.
Wait, hold on. So this guy's got a screwdriver trying to stab people, and you said you're going to make that guy hate you? Like, what even is this story? What is happening right now?
Intelligence pretty quickly. And the guy, now I'm having to fight two people with mental issues, because now he's mad at me.
Wait, so you had one guy trying to stab people with a screwdriver and another guy trying to fight you, and these two people are unrelated. Bro, was this supermarket located anywhere in Grand Theft Auto? What town is this supermarket? I would like to steer clear of it. Seaver says, and then everyone stood up and clapped.
He's
This is
pushing me,
wild.
and I'm the one that's stopping this kid from stabbing people. I'm the only one that's stopping this kid from stabbing people. And now this moron that thinks that he's hot shit because he's this big overweight dude thinks that he's tough.
I'm telling you, this is the same way my compulsive liar friend would talk about stories. The way they talk, the way they give details about stuff. It's like, bro, I don't believe you. I don't.
Tough and strong, and he knows better. And meanwhile, he's pushing me. He's saying, hey, you're going to make that kid, you're making him hate you. Look what you're doing. Look what you're doing. He's taking my chair away. I'm using the chair to stop this kid from stabbing people with a screwdriver. So now I'm fighting off two people. And eventually, you know, we get this kid outside and I have to walk away from this dude. I'm getting ticked off by this moron that's making the situation worse. I'm here to de-escalate it. Meanwhile, this moron thinks
Bob, the Darkest Fairy, says it's called improv.
that he knows better, that he's smarter. I've worked in disability services for years. I've trained for this. So I know when to change your approach. I know when to take certain actions, and I know how to de-escalate and get people to calm down. And this moron.
Revolcry says, and by the way, I agree with this. It is killing me inside that I'm noticing these little details about human reactions that he isn't doing in this type of situation. I'm telling you, man, that's the same as me right now. Raven says, I have a friend like this now. Last week, she flew across the country and back alone in one night. I bet she did, according to her, right?
Basically just forced his way between me and the kid, then someone would have been stabbed. And this moron thinks, oh, I'm big, I'm tough. Ooh. Anyway, that was my morning. This is not a joke. This isn't a punchline thing. So anyway, I got to get back to work. I'm going to get back to game development. Just going to enjoy my coffee. And yeah, I'll make more fun videos. People want me to take a look at the Nintendo stuff. I'll be doing that, but I'm not irritated at the kid that had the issues. I'm irritated about the moron that thinks that he knew better and that reckoned that he knew better than everyone else and he could de-escalate when he was making things worse. Sounds like an analogy for the games industry, isn't it? It's very, very fitting for the situation. Anyway, have a good day. That's my afternoon.
This video reveals a lot. Like, yikes. This video, I think, just completely changed my perception of Jerrel. And it's his own video. It's not even someone else's video. That's the thing. Oh my God. I'm like distraught from that. I need a second, guys. Like, damn. Revolcry says, it's making my insides crawl. I'm never this observant. Dark Wyvern says he has main character syndrome, which is funny because he's making these videos saying, stop coming to my channel, unsubscribe from me. It's almost like a cry for help and cry for attention. I'm trying really hard to figure it out because it's very strange.
Last year, his friend Scotty, who also had cancer, blew himself up.
I promised Scotty that I would come back and spend time with him. I said, hang in there. I'll come back as soon as I can. I'll spend time with you. That was back in 2023. So last year I learned that Scotty lit a cigarette next to his oxygen tank and he burned himself to death.
And he has a current friend who is terminally ill with cancer.
There's a
Wow. Wow. Wow.
friend of mine now that probably has only until the end of the year, most likely less. He's also dealing with cancer.
Blaze Duval says oxygen tanks do not do that.
What if this guy is so bad at everything he does that even when he tries to make friends, he gives them cancer? I'm just kidding. I'm just
I was not expecting a joke out of this guy. That's amazing.
Kidding. In seriousness, that really sucks, man. I feel for you. I was a carer for people with spinal injuries for a year or so. Being around people with serious struggles can take a toll. But what if I told you that all of these stories are part of his ploy to get a job at Nintendo? In his message to Doug Bowser, he reasserts over and over and over again that Nintendo needs someone who brings that human element.
Right now, Nintendo would
Dylan de Cesar says sever ties. He's as bad as JDA or Styx type character. I mean, to be fair, I've always kind of kept my distance from him. And after tonight, I'm like very glad that I'm where I am with him, because I would not want to be any closer of a friend than I was. Because yikes.
really benefit from a human element in the way that it is communicating with consumers right now.
In that horrendous video I showed you last time where he talks down to his audience, the now privated video, all he's talking about is these videos being a bridge between consumers and the industry. That all his videos over the past couple of weeks have been a message to corporations.
I told you these videos are prompts to show the industry how you respond to stimulus.
That video, ironically, is the beginning of the unraveling. That video right there, when he starts to call out his audience, like he had a really good thing going for a while, and now he's kind of like showing who he is, and now people are starting to dig and ask questions. Like that's what I say all the time about me. Like, first off, don't dare the internet, because the internet will always, it never disappoints. The internet will win every time. But like for me, that's why I'm trying to be as transparent as possible with like literally everything in my life, because I never want this kind of video to come out about me. This is devastating.
Trying to message Nintendo. And the Doug Bowser message is the culmination of all of that. Hey, you need someone with all these features. And all his videos in the last couple weeks are him demonstrating how he has those features he thinks Nintendo needs. Let me show you some more examples. In the Doug Bowser message, he says,
What people really need is more clarity and transparency as to the reason why price.
Okay, I put a new poll in. Said, is Sungrand a compulsive liar? Yes, no, or undecided. Valkyrie says, Smash, I think there's a pattern from the old to present videos to maybe hint at some red flags as harmful opinions shown. Some red flags, bro. I don't think China has this many red flags. This is a rough watch here.
he has a video explaining the cartridges. He has a video explaining why prices are the way they are because of inflation. Or at least he tries to explain.
Inflation is simply part of our world. It is always there. It sucks. Dollar values increasing are unpleasant.
Wow, so human.
If Nintendo does not increase their prices to keep up with inflation, the way the rest of the world is doing, then the quality of the products will be worse significantly.
Incredible explanation, and that's the only element. Consumer perception of value and willingness to buy these things isn't itself something that needs to.
Zero Rhymer says, but he's not a YouTuber. Right. I mean, for a guy that says he's not a YouTuber and wants to go fishing and stuff, he sure as shit has a lot of videos talking about the whole gamut of YouTube, doesn't he? It's interesting.
Let me show you a clip from another one of his privated videos.
When we were posting videos together, it felt like we were on a team.
This was the thank you video to Hypnotic, Far Dark, and myself. And this part of the video was so cringy, and it felt so fake. I don't know how else to say it, because like if Vara Dark or Hypnotic ever made a video and ever went this direction, I already know it would not come across like this. This came across as like weird. It was very weird.
And it was so great. And the work that you guys are doing for the industry.
Wireframe says Kiwi Farm's gonna have a field day.
Is so important.
Asian Swordmaster says, I hate I'm too trusting of people. Bro, Me too. Like, holy shit, get in line. I think that's the problem. And it's unfortunate. It's been one of my faults that I've had. And I try to be proactive about noticing it in the future. But like, that was the trap I fell into with Tommy Tallarico, where he's a very smooth talker. He's very kind, and a very trustworthy person, and basically could sell anything to anyone with just his words. But when it came to rubber hitting the road, nothing ever happened. And that experience with Tommy, I'm getting these same vibes from Jerrel here. Which again, I keep going back to him. I'm glad I was not too tight with him, because now that I'm starting to see these things, I'm like, eesh.
It would be great if Nintendo could communicate with people by stepping away from the corporate stage and this sort of corporate manner of speaking in a very formal way and discussing
Does he really think Nintendo would hire him?
things in a human way.
Well, guess what Jerrel's doing? He's putting away the suit. He's not going to be saying he's an industry professional over and over again.
Mhm.
Nowadays, he says,
I'm here just as just some dude. I'm just a guy. I'm not trying to be some idol or look at me, I'm some fancy internet dude.
the perfect spokesperson, a man of the people. There is a lot, but let's just do one more.
It's not your job. It's not Nintendo's job to bring any kind of positivity or hope to the world. But I personally hope that you will try anyway.
And who could do that for them? What has Jerrel been saying over and over again these past couple weeks?
I'm expending the majority of my energy right now on staying positive.
And to cap off this madness of a video, he says,
I really wish there was a way I could help the situation. If you guys would like to contact me, you have my contact information.
Sungrand Studios isn't some sarcastic master of comedy with a master plan for his channel to reshape the industry. He just needs to take his meds.
Wow. So tonight has been very impactful. I don't know about you guys. Based off the comments, I would assume yes. But I'm speaking about myself, like the perception that I had about Jerrel and Sungrand going into tonight has, I would say, completely changed. Like, there was like an inkling of, yeah, there's something off. There's something that I just can't put my finger on. Now I can put my finger on it, and I'm like, okay, now I know. Now I know. And that's the thing. Like, Jerrel can be very kind and cordial, and I will be cordial as well in the future with him. But now I know who he is. Now everyone knows who he is. And yikes.